day 4. Oh yeah, that's right. It's day 4. I am in that Alyssa's place. She brought me in here, wanted me to wait while she looks for an item. And I was wising up to what's going on, and I think I tried opening the door, because it says locked. Let's go from there. What a surprise. How did she manage to quietly lock me? Don't know what's going on, in her mind, rather. But I need to get out of here. I went to the window, opened it, and climbed out. That was simple. Now I can go and take care of business, or I choose the second option and waited. What is the reason she had me locked up? I wanted to know what was happening. Plus, I really wanted to see Alyssa's face when she finds her room empty. I hid in the bushes next to the house and waited. I heard footsteps after some time. Alyssa and Olga came to the house. You'll see everything yourself. She opened the door and went in. A few seconds later, she ran back. Alyssa's face looked like she just won catching the mouse competition. Is that a thing? But at the last moment found out that it's not an Olympic sport. I couldn't imagine that it is. So he just disappeared. Olga asked skeptically. I did the right thing by closing the window after. Oh no. You know. I understood everything. I'm gonna say it. Dvachevskaya. You and your neighbor, every time the same thing. Maybe it's enough. But it's true. Really. One story better than the other. Semyon in your house. Semyon harassing you. Why do you keep lying? That's horrible. Alyssa seemed really upset, and to my surprise was not trying to argue. On the one hand, it was all funny to look at, but on the other, I felt a bit sorry for Alyssa. She deserved it, though. Linder finally finished scolding and left. Alyssa was mad. She clenched her fists and was shaking. Her face was flushed. It seemed to me that she was going to explode. I sat in the bushes and laughed quietly. However, I was wondering what was on her mind, and I came out of my hiding place, not afraid of being beaten. So what exactly did you want to show the leader? Me? Alyssa turned and looked at me with disbelief. After a moment, surprise turned to anger. You. What about me? She calmed down a bit. I wanted to get even with you, she smirked. Meaning? You lost a bet. So I wanted to show the camp leader how you're stalking me. I wonder what wrong could Olga find in this situation. But let's move on. I see. Maybe I should apologize to you, I asked sarcastically. Screw you. Oh, snap. She went into the house, slamming the door. I wasn't angry at Alyssa. In the end, I expected her to do something like that. Anyway, it all went without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chuckling, I left Alyssa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. Ooh, where to go? A bus stop. That'll probably be quick and painless. The bus stop seemed to be a fine choice. Strange thought came across me. Shurik is in the same situation as me, and so he decided to run away from this camp, maybe by the 410 bus. It could really turn out to be true, if he got here by accident too. Although the chances are quite slim. But you never know. What if the bus will really come? However, I could hardly believe in that. Indeed, I spent a couple of minutes waiting at the bus stop, made sure that there's no sign of Shurik or anyone else here, and headed back to the camp. Somebody rushed from behind the gates and bumped into me. The impact was not strong, so I just staggered. Hey, Miku. Miku stood in front of me and rubbed her bruised forehead. Oh, sorry. It's all right. It's my fault. I was going to the music club, but I got lost in thoughts about a new song. Thinking up the lyrics and music. I haven't realized how I got here. So you don't have to apologize. Her words per minute rate obviously exceeded the recognition limits of my brain. I made an attempt to retreat promptly. Sure, gotta go, Oh, wait. I wanted to leave as usual without having to listen to her, but Miko grabbed my hand. Her grasp gave me the creeps, as I've got a clear vision of agonizing execution by another rap session. Can you help me a little, please? Just a little bit. That definitely wasn't on my to-do list today. Well, I'd be glad to, but it's pretty please. Miko looked at me with such puppy eyes that my heart started to melt. She totally wasn't going to let go of my hand. And what help exactly do you need? You'll accompany me. I can't manage to compose in such a way. I can sing or play. I can't do both at the same time. Even our orchestra woman has her weak sides. Well, I can't really play any instrument. Never mind that. I'll show you everything. Come on, let's go. Hell yeah, I'll go with Miku. On the other hand, I'm not losing anything. However, she dragged me with herself. Nothing good will probably come out of that, but the only way to get her off me is to wrest my hand out of hers. But that wouldn't be very nice. Nothing bad will happen after all, probably. In a minute, we were already standing in the Musics Club. If you read that, the Mucus Club. Spelling error. Miko took a guitar. Here, have a look. She sat down and started playing. I tried to follow her hands. The tune seemed quite easy. It seemed quite easy to repeat it. Got it? Kind of. Let's try. I took the guitar and started playing. Didn't really work out. Let me show you one more time. She played much better than me. Looking at Miku, I mused. Of course she was a chatterbox. She was naive and clumsy. That I is double-dotted, not naive. However, she was utterly talented in music. Try again. I managed much better the second time. Wow, that's much better. So I thought. In my head before you said that. She smiled. It wasn't hard, in fact. Just repeat the same notes over and over. Just don't lose the track. Start by my command. Okay. Ready? Go. It was a song in Japanese. Frankly speaking, I haven't understood a single word, but Miku's singing was quite good. In fact, it was outstanding. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna make you guys suffer this too. She put her hand in her heart in every note, every word. Yeah, music probably isn't the very thing to dedicate her life to. It was a very thing to dedicate her life to. It seemed like it wasn't her who had chosen the music, but the music had chosen her. The last half an hour presented Miku in a completely different light. ... Oh, music's over. Oh, thank you. Did you like it? I finally is spelled wrong. I finally managed it with you. Alone, it's not so good. I either messed up with the text or missed the strings. And it's just perfect with you. Thank you so much. You really have a talent, Just to play like that without any preparation. Nope. It seems I have changed my opinion about her too hastily. Thanks for the song. Gotta go. See you. Thanks to... I just got out of there. The rest of the phrase stayed behind that door. I leaned on the wall of the club cabin inside. Miku's song was still playing in my mind. ... I went for lunch with mixed feelings, with a sense of accomplishment, and with a realization of wasted time. The canteen was crowded. I couldn't stay unnoticed. Olga called me. Semyon, come to us. Camp leader, Slavia, and Electronic were sitting at the 4-seat table. I nodded and went to take food. This time, I had to spend some minutes in a queue. Today's menu didn't really differ from the other day's menu. Dishes looked the same, at least. When I sat at the table and wished bon appetit to everyone, wished is spelled wrong, Olga said, "So, what are you thinking?" "About what?" "We searched for Shurik all around. It is noon, and he is nowhere to be found." I took a note of the rhyme. but didn't want to point it out. We looked all over the camp. I went all around the neighboring forest. Olga looked at me, and I helped too. We must call the police. Maybe we should wait until the evening, or maybe you should call the police. That would seem like a perfectly legitimate thing to do. In your position, sir, I asked lazily. Maybe he went home. It can't be. Shurik lives thousands of miles away. By train? The nearest station, she paused, is far. Now it was getting interesting. Every time the conversation reaches the point concerning ways I could leave Sovyanak, all the camp inhabitants start changing the subject. How far is far? Really far. Camp leader looked at me, indicating with her look that asking more questions was not advised. So we should go deeper into the forest. Maybe he got lost. Shurik always takes a compass. Chimed in electronic. I wonder what else could be found in his magic vest, if he even has one. If I would get lost in the forest, compass would be of no real use. Police. We should call the police in the evening. Not right now, at least. Okay, see you later. They were all silent. We should be able to find him before evening. We still have time. If he actually got lost, we have no time to lose. We cannot be sure. Then where is he? Where? There was some truth in the camp leader's words. Hiding the whole day just like that is suspicious. Why would he do that? Maybe he's playing with his robot somewhere. Shurik seemed to me a quite serious pioneer. Uliano would have been a better fit with this behavior. So there is a reason to believe that he was gone. All that could be done was already done. We'll just have to wait. Slavia, Electronic, and Olga looked at me sorrowfully, but haven't said a word. ... I finished my lunch, brought the tray back, and left the canteen. It's still the first half of the day. What now? The camp was drifting to an afternoon nap. Only Genda stared at me through his glasses. Of course, he stared somewhere else, but I had a feeling that he was constantly watching me. That he knows where Shurik is hiding. Just can't tell anything. Disappearance of the cybernetics club leader made me think. Maybe it's got something to do with my case. Hey, nurse. Oh, pioneer. The nurse stood in front of me. I looked at her curiously. Go and take my place in the infirmary. I have an urgent call. Somebody is injured. Me? Yes, you. Take the keys. The nurse threw me the keys and ran away. Why me? Isn't there anyone else in this camp? What exactly should I be doing? What if something happens? Oh, what can I do now? I missed my chance to refuse. I stood in front of the door with uncertainty. On the one hand, there is nothing to worry about. I'll spend here half an hour or so, and she'll be back. Hour is spelled wrong. But what if someone comes for actual help? With broken leg? Or with injured head? I began to worry too much. I hope that there are no serious injuries other than bruises and scratches in this camp. But at the same time, I cannot get rid of an idea that in case of a serious situation, I would be absolutely useless. I don't even know how to perform CPR. Magazine on a nurse's table caught my eye. Attention, I think. A good way to relax, I guess. This is labeled Soviet fashion. Publish date or month were absent. However, this was not a surprise. There were much stranger things happening here. I didn't know much about Soviet magazines. Maybe they actually didn't have publish dates on them. Models dressed in old-fashioned clothes stared at me from glossy pages. Nowadays nobody would put on such clothes. I smirked. I wonder if Slavia, for example, considered this fashionable. Only imagine what would happen if she appeared in my time wearing something like this. Imagine we are walking in hand. I'm wearing my coat with the hood, and she dressed into a lavish dress covered with laces and thingies. Seems like I'm already imagining Slavia in my world. With me. And not only Slavia. This dress better suits Uliana. This cute Seraphan would look good on Alyssa. This skirt and cardigan would look nice on Lena. If only they could be real. No, I saw them, heard them, could even touch them. But still, they are here and I simply don't belong to this place. It's alien for me. I'm just waiting for a chance to get out of here. Waiting, 'cause nothing depends on me anymore. I sighed, put my head on the table and fell asleep. ... I was awakened by the noise of the door opening. Lena stood at the doors. Yesterday I promised to help her in the infirmary. My cheeks became scarlet shortly, and I turned away pretending that I'm busy. The nurse is not here, and I'll come back later. I'm substituting her. Since I am responsible for pioneers' lives, I should do it with all the responsibility. Although in fact, I was just afraid of something happening because of me. Any health complaints? I tried to give Lena the most accurate smile I could, in order not to confuse her. Nothing special, just a little headache. Let's do this. Some painkillers, maybe. Of course, I wasn't aware where to find required medicines, so it took me long to find them. Finally, I handed metamizole tablet to Lena. Advil. Thanks. She smiled. That was absolutely unexpected, and so I lost touch with reality, staring at her. What? Lena got awkward in a moment. Listen, I've been wondering. Do you like this? Don't know what's gotten into me, but I grabbed that magazine from the table and showed her that picture of a skirt and cardigan, which would really suit Lena in my opinion. Maybe I went completely nuts, thinking about all the girls in my world. Or maybe I wanted to distract myself instead of waiting for the nurse to come back. Lena looked at the picture. Yes, I guess. It's stuff like this in trend. I guess. She got confused and started blushing. Why are you asking? Really, why? I'm choosing the top one. Thank you. It's alright. I'm just being completely honest. We were quiet for some time. How is your headache? Much better, thank you. Nah, that medicine wouldn't go that quickly. She smiled. I'll go. Good luck. Lena came out, and I continued to look through the magazine. ... After a while, somebody knocked at the door again. Seems that infirmary is the most popular place to go. Suddenly, I've decided to roleplay a nurse. Just a male version. And said, "Come in." Oh, God. The door opened and Uliana entered the room. Wow, did I miss the moment when you decided to start knocking? Anything wrong with knocking? She frowned. What's hurting? Why on earth would I tell you? Where's the nurse? In front of you. I have imposingly crossed my legs and looked questioningly at her. I better go. Better die than being treated by you. She smiled mischievously. You didn't even try. Uliana thought for a moment. Though you could give me pills. What's bothering you? Took her some time to reply. Heaviness in the stomach. Sure it's not emptiness in the head? I've muttered under my breath. What did you say? Nothing, give me a second. I found pills in the first drawer I opened. Thank you, doctor. She smiled cheerfully. Watching Uliana, I could not imagine how such optimistic and active child could have health problems. She gave me if you didn't read right, it's something about her stealing candies. She gave me a baleful look. No, left everything for you. Uliana ran out of the infirmary and slammed the door. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. ... Again, I went into studying of the Soviet fashion trends. Time passed, but the nurse was still absent. I wasn't searching for Shurik, wasn't looking for any clues concerning my state. I was just sitting and flipping through the magazine. Just for a moment, I felt quite satisfied with this situation. Eventually, everything happening here could be seen as some sort of trip to a summer camp, and if nothing changes anytime soon, then I could start worrying. Again, somebody knocked at the door. Did I miss an outbreak of an epidemic? Hey. Slavia was standing at the doorway. Oh, hi. Isn't the nurse here? Hi. No, she is not here. I'm taking over for today. Great. I'd like to... She hesitated. What? By the way, Semyon, Slavia said, and I looked intently at me. What? Seems like I lost my keys. Have you seen them anywhere? Sure I have. Yes, here. I found them near the canteen yesterday. I wanted to return them to you, but forgot about it. I was really bad at lying. My cheeks were red, eyes were wandering around, and hands were constantly shaking. Here. I was already preparing myself for an appropriate scolding, but Slavia only took the keys and said, Thanks. So what have you come for? I really had to change the subject. Anything hurts? No, it's nothing. Strange. I wouldn't even think that such an open person as Slavia would keep something quiet. If there's something bothering you, tell me. That's why I'm here, to treat people. I smiled widely. No. I mean, yes, but no. Hearing that made anything possible, even division by 0. It's probably girl problems. So how can I help you? You. I guess you can't. She smiled and was going to leave, but suddenly stopped. However, can you step out for a minute? Why not? Okay. I stepped out of the infirmary and leaned onto the wall. I wonder what might she be doing, something that I can't even see. After a minute, the door opened and Slavia came out. She was carrying a small bundle. I'm not going to ask. Good luck, I shouted to her. Thank you. She gave me one of her sweet smiles before leaving. ... I looked at the time. Man, look at that eye poster in the background. What, I mean, that, I'm guessing that's like Russian? I don't know. Looks like a K, like a weird backwards 7, then a backwards E, a T and an O, and an N, and a backwards R and a T. Some like Englishy type letters. Anyways, it was getting late. I've read the magazine backwards and forwards, but the nurse wasn't here. No. Suddenly the door burst open, and Alyssa ran inside. She looked at me thoroughly. What are you doing here? Sitting, I admitted honestly. Okay then. It's even better without the nurse, she murmured. Are you sick? I asked acidly. Alyssa didn't answer and came closer to me. Move over. Why? So I can open the drawer, isn't it obvious? What for? She got angry. None of your business. Well, I'm kind of in charge here. She gave it a thought. Then give me some activated carbon. Stomachache? Yeah. She grinned acidly. I felt there was something wrong here. Don't believe it. Really? A stomachache? Really? Doesn't seem so. What? Do I have to toss my lunch all over the place for you to believe me? I don't know. What terrible is there to be done with activated carbon? But I'm sure you will think of something. She hesitated. And what if you're right? Here, I knew it. And I'm certainly not giving anything to you. Alyssa tried to get to the drawers, but I blocked the pillbox with my chest like Alexander Matrosov. I don't know if I pronounced. Okay, let's read this. What's here? Alexander Matrosov was a Soviet infantry soldier during the Great Patriotic War. Posthumously awarded the title of the Hero of the Soviet Union for blocking the German machine gun with his chest. Pretty brave. With all her impudence, she was still just a girl, and she had no chance to push me aside. Whatever, I'll find it somewhere else. She turned away and headed to the exit. At the door, Alyssa stopped and looked back. By the way, the camp leader and the nurse are carrying a pioneer with a broken leg. I really don't care, but they seem to be struggling. Yeah, sure. Come see yourself. Alyssa seemed to be lying, but on the other hand, as long as I can see her. I came to the door and looked outside. No one was there. Where exactly? Haven't reached here yet, then. She made a helpless gesture. Have fun. I returned to the table, and only then I realized that one of the drawers was opened. How did she make it? I turned my back for just a second. Though, what evil can come out of activated carbon? ... It was 15 minutes till dinner, and the nurse still wasn't back. I guess just leaving like that won't do. She asked me after all. And who knows what might happen if I leave. Though who might want to steal anything from here, except for Alyssa stealing activated carbon. I opened the magazine again and began flipping through it for the There's no number there. The nth time. The fashion of 80s wasn't that fun anymore. Yawning got me several times. It was already 6 o'clock, hence dinner has already started. Of course I had to be on the watch till the end, but my stomach, spelled wrong, seemed to have its own opinion on the matter. I stood up and steadily headed to the exit. Some rustling sound came from behind the door. Could it be someone else who got poisoned, broke their arm, or something even worse? I sighed heavily and pulled the doorknob. However, there was no one out there. Seems it was just my imagination. I returned inside and instantly noticed that something had changed in the infirmary. To be precise, an apple appeared on the table. But where from? Fruits can't just materialize from thin air by themselves, can they? Though in this camp everything is possible. Chances are someone just brought it in here. Maybe Lena wanted to thank me, given that she's all shy and... But wait, how could she just walk past me like that? Lena wouldn't climb through the window after all, so there must be something else. I was suddenly overwhelmed by fear. What if the apple is poisoned? Though why would someone complicate things, when I'm here totally helpless and can be killed way easier? Or, it might be the apple which Eve tasted in the Garden of Eden. In this case, I certainly should not eat it. The same second, my stomach reminded itself of wambling traitorously. However, it would take time to close the infirmary to reach the canteen to take food. My stomach is about to eat itself. There was nothing wrong, I guess. Once again, I tried to remember if this apple was here before. In the end, it must have appeared from somewhere. Someone can rewind the video and see if it was here, and then comment, because I'm not doing it right now. Maybe it got here through the window. No. Shutter was slightly open. You know, don't eat the apple. It's not that big of a deal. Just don't eat it. It's a mysterious apple you're questioning. Don't eat the apple. So someone must have put it here. I hope I get an option, because I will choose not to eat this apple. Nothing serious, however. No, do not eat the apple. Nope. Even assuming that this is a normal apple. In any case, I shouldn't eat unwashed fruits. Just like that. I found the reason for my fear and put the apple away. It was time to go for a dinner. Along my way I was reached by electronic. How is it going? Did you find Shurik? No, still no signs of him. Don't worry. We'll find him. I tried to cheer him up. Too much time has passed. I'll just keep on searching. What about dinner? No. Finding Shurik is more important. He uttered thoughtfully. I left him at the crossroads and wished him good luck. Pioneers crowded in a doorway. I quickened my pace, trying not to be the last one in the line, at least for the day. And I was lucky. In the far corner was an absolutely empty table. Took my dinner quickly and sat at the table. Tonight's dinner consisted of fruit soup and a pair of buns. Fruit soup? What the hell is fruit soup? This set surprised me at first, but tasting it was actually nice. I concentrated on eating. Miku! Lena, let's go here. Look, 3 free chairs. Lena and Miku stood in front of me. Is it taken? Wondered Lena. No, take a seat. Of course. I wish she was alone. Thank you. I don't like that Xenia person. As soon as Lena said that Xenia... let me retry that. As soon as Lena said that, Zena jumped out from behind her back. "I'll sit here. There are no places left," she said, putting her tray on a table, and sat down, not even waiting for my answer. "Sure, make yourself at home," I muttered sorrowfully. "What? Nothing?" To tell the truth, I wanted to reduce the whole company to just Lena. I like Miku, though nor Miku nor Xenia were causing too much trouble, except one was too talkative and the other was too arrogant. But nevertheless, they were absolutely harmless, especially comparing to some others. "Oh, seems like I forgot a key." "Don't worry, take mine." I was surprised by Miku's short reply. "Do you live together?" "Of course, didn't you know? Together, our cabin is the rearmost. I mean the farthest from here. I mean the last one. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me that Lena lived with Slavia. Or with Xenia at worst. Even electronic. But silent and shy Lena and excessively talkative Miku making a company. That's really a surprise. Did you find your Shurik? It's strange that Xenia is disturbed by someone's problems." "Nope." "Sure he is not at the village buying cigarettes? Or vodka?" She snorted. Village. That very moment, conversation got much more interesting. "Anything wrong with villages?" Xenia looked amazed. "You mean there's a village nearby?" "I think so," she said uncertainly. I looked at Lena and Miku, but they were busy with their meals and did not pay attention to our conversation. "You mean you don't know exactly?" "Why should I care?" Xenia stared at her dish, but there must be localities nearby. "Listen." "Listening." "I don't know. Will you let me eat?" Seems like I won't get anything from her, though there is a chance that she really doesn't know. The remaining time was spent listening to Miku talking about some nonsense. I was just slowly going mad in silence. Obviously, first thing I did after going out after that was inhaling a great amount of fresh air. The sun was setting. I decided to take a walk. Highly unlikely that I will find anything more exciting to do for the rest of the evening. That way, something interesting could arise quite unexpectedly. I was approaching the square when I heard a loud clap. It seemed like something exploded. I felt paralyzed. I'm in a hostile environment, not knowing rules and laws of this place. It would be better for me to run, but at the same time I was curious. Probably I would just keep here standing, but somebody grabbed my hand. It was Olga. "Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened." "Can't you ever manage without me?" I begged her pitiless. "It shouldn't be anything serious, I hope." "I imagine it has something to do with that carbon stuff." When we came to the square, there was already a crowd of pioneers. Olga vigorously pushed through the crowd and approached towards the crime scene. Obviously, someone tried to blow up Genda. But attackers failed. The monument was still standing upright. There were only dim ash traces on the pedestal. "Well, and who did this?" She looked over a crowd of pioneers, sure thing it wasn't done by an organized terrorist bunch. They all came here just to look at what happened. I noticed Uliana and Alyssa in the crowd. Looks like our camp leader noticed them too. "You two, here." They approached reluctantly. "Why always me?" "If you think so. Show me your hands, Alyssa." "What's wrong with them?" I looked closer and saw that they were smeared with black. "Now it's clear. What did you make a bomb with?" Junior terrorist seemed to be hesitating whether to confess or not, but then blurted out proudly. "Activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur." Wait a minute. Carbon. Carbon that she stole from the first aid post. Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? The fighter for the rights of ... I could hardly imagine how long she would keep on scolding Alyssa if Electronic wouldn't have popped out at the very moment shouting, I found it. I found it. Everyone turned towards him. He held a boot in his hand. Here. Electronic boastfully shook it over his head. It's Shurik's boot. Okay, calm down. Tell us in detail, where did you find it? In the forest? On the way to the old camp. Whispers ran among the pioneers. Old camp, old camp. Are you sure? Absolutely. What's wrong with this old camp? I joined in the conversation. Nothing special, really. She stammered. One of the Soviet-Nox legends tells a story of a young camp leader's ghost living there. She fell in love with a pioneer, but he rejected her, and so she killed herself. Did harakiri with a kitchen knife. Next day, that boy was hit by a bus. Uliana ran out of the crowd. Bus. I held myself from asking about the route's number. But science doesn't approve of ghost existence, so we have nothing to be afraid of. Anyway, somebody should go there. Suddenly the crowd started to thin. Olga, it's almost night. Maybe tomorrow. I turned around and saw Slavia and Lena. I'm going to turn this down. A little bit loud. Alright. What if at night something happens to him? No, today, right now. By the way, where is this place? Electronic roughly described me the directions and told me the story of the old camp. Camp leader looked at me attentively. If you think that you're the only man here. It's so sad they don't look at Electronic, he is a dude. That's right. Electronic was quick to flee. I still didn't want to walk in the woods alone. If you ask me, I would. I'm going with somebody. Who should we go with? I'm not going with Alyssa. I actually don't really care for her. Well, I don't know. I'm not going alone. That's scary woods here. Alyssa, she's mean. Slavia's nice but prude. Uliana's too young. Lena's quiet, but maybe she has a wild side. I won't go there alone, will I? Olga thought for a moment. You may be right. We'll go together tomorrow. What? For the last few minutes, I was noticing strange glances of Lena, as if she wanted to say something, but didn't dare to. The pioneers started to dismiss, as they had forgotten about Alyssa and the explosion. Even the leader seemed to calm down and didn't react when the wannabe terrorists left the square, hiding behind Uliana. We should go too. Yes. The night quickly fell on the camp. There was only a brief moment between the first rays of setting sun till complete darkness. Here in the south, or maybe in this world, you didn't have enough time to enjoy the variety of sunset colors. It was too early to go to bed, but the leader confidently walked to her cabin, as if mentally dragging me with her. Olga, I'll have a little walk. Okay. She looked at me intently, but didn't find any reason to object, shrugged her shoulders, and kept walking. I came back to the square. I didn't really want to look closely at the little damage done to the Genda statue. It was the exact center of the camp. If you don't know where to go, you should start your way from there. I sat on the bench and looked to the west. I wondered if the earth here revolves on its axis as it should. Or may there be an actual north or south? It is hard to say. At time, I hadn't any ideas how to check the fundamental laws of nature. Hi. Lena appeared next to me, as if from nowhere. Hi, can't sleep? She looked at me in surprise. Well, yes, it is still early. May I sit? Yeah, of course, sit down. I moved a little. That little was in fact an understatement. I actually sticked myself to the edge of the bench. Thanks. Lena sat and looked at the sky as if forgetting about me. It is sad. What is sad? That Shurik disappeared. Yes, things are not too good. She was calm as usual, kept silent most of the time, She blushed and felt embarrassed only when she had to speak or do something. That very silence, which could be seen as awkward by many people, including me, was quite natural for her, usual. I could hardly imagine Lena making an effort to choose words somewhere deep inside of herself to start a conversation or say a good remark, trying not to look stupid or, in contrary, not to look too rude as Alyssa. I just wasn't able to compare her to anyone. She was just content with herself. Doesn't mean that my attempts to start a conversation with her would be seen as something rude. The expression, become friends, would be interpreted as intrusion into her private life. But something in this girl attracted me. Maybe it was her mysteriousness. She certainly didn't lack attractive appearance or other woman charms. I didn't have an answer to that. That's why I was still openly accused of unknowingness. Oh, I'm sure he'll be found. How would you escape from a submarine? What? Lena seemed not to like the joke. This camp must be a large submarine for me only. I hope so. Tomorrow Olga will call the police. They will find him for sure. And what if in the night? She got a sad expression. What could happen to him? Alone at night in the forest, anything could happen. He must be lonely. No one made him go there. What if he just got lost? He shouldn't walk in the forest alone. You don't have pity for him at all. Shurik may be sitting there all alone. I do pity him, of course. I felt ashamed. In any case, Lena was right. A person was missing. Anything could happen during the night. We won't go to search for him now, will we? She didn't reply, still looking somewhere far away, where the last rays of sun shined over the tops of the old trees, as if trying to leave a bit of its warmth to people. Do you really think that roaming in a forest in the dark is a good idea? Probably not. For some reason, I was sure that she thinks exactly that. Recently, I seemed to start understanding Lena without any words more often, and she seemed to influence me psychologically, making me agree with her. Lena's silence is more informative than any chatter or persuasion. They have looked for him during the day already. Everywhere. She stopped watching the sunset and looked at me. I don't know. I think everywhere. What about the old camp? For the first time her words sounded assured and not abstracted or indifferent. Where is it? I have no idea. Electronic told us. Well, trusting him. I grinned stupidly, but Lena kept looking at me seriously. Sure, if it's not too far. So, you do want to go? Of course I don't. We can, if it is there and back, quickly. Okay. Lena smiled and gave me a flashlight, which appeared as if from nowhere. Yes, useful thing. Does it mean she has prepared beforehand, and nothing was depending on me? I sighed, as if doomed, and headed to the forest with her. ... The night fell on this camp. We walked slowly. Lena was next to me, near, but not too close. It was strange, but looked like she wasn't afraid of anything. Turn the volume up here. Crickets. Moreover, she didn't care much about the things happening, as if we weren't walking in the forest at night, but watching a movie with other people playing leading roles. Actually, electronics said that the old camp was not too far, and if we walked straight to it, it would be hard to get lost. After a few minutes, I was completely unsure that we were walking straight, and after some more time it started to seem that it would be a miracle if we got out from here. But I didn't want to lose face before Lena, so I tried to walk cheerfully. The forest was full of silent moving shadows and gleams of the moon. The grass quietly rustled under our feet, and the branches rustled over our heads. Old oaks stood next to young birches. Large mushrooms emerged from under the latter, as if saluting by taking off their large hats. On any other day, or rather, on any other time of day, it would look really beautiful. It may be safe at night too, but nevertheless, I shuddered at the gust of wind. Look! Lena pointed forward. I rubbed my eyes and saw a gap between the trees. In a minute, we were on a rather large clearing. In the middle of it stood a building, which looked like a village school or a kindergarten. The paint was falling off the walls. There were several holes in the roof, like after a bombing. And glassless windows looked at us sadly and a little threatening. Creepy. It was not a very pleasant sight. I couldn't remember how I was imagining that place a moment ago. It was like all images were erased from my memory, replaced by this depressing graveyard view. Well, it's creepy. Lena was still standing silently, but the natural expression of fright appeared on her face. Do you think he is there? I have no idea. If I was Shurik, then a haunted house would be the last place I'd hide in. Shall we go? I didn't manage to answer. The moon appeared from behind the clouds and illuminated the clearing in new colors. Actually, in one color, the grave white. I could see more clearly the distant trees, the mist shrouding them. It felt like the temperature dropped down to a few degrees, so I quickly got shivers. Are you afraid? Lena asked calmly. Honestly? She smiled unnoticeably and took my hand. It would have caused a storm of emotions in other situations, but that time it felt like a usual necessity. We slowly walked to the building. ... Walking through the playground, I pushed a merry-go-round. It creaked nastily and made half a turn. Lena shivered and grasped my hand tighter. Sorry, I probably just remembered my childhood. Did you like merry-go-rounds? Yes, actually. I don't know. Don't remember. Probably. All children like them. I didn't like them. Why? I get dizzy because of them. No wonder if you spin too fast. I liked swings more. You can swing just like on a centrifuge as well. But what for? I don't know. That conversation had distracted me a little, and I stopped worrying about myself, about everything. About Shurik, about our night trip, about Lena. After all, this world is not so alien. Finally, we had reached the doors. The old camp reminded of a kindergarten inside, the one I attended in childhood. On the first sight, even the room arrangement was the same. Shurik. Shurik. Grave silence replied to us. Even the wind outside had calmed down. Looks like nobody is here. We should check anyway. Lena's courage couldn't stop surprising me. Or should I say, the lack of usual instinct of self-preservation couldn't. I didn't know if that behavior is strange for that girl or not. Okay, let's do it. ... We thoroughly examined all the rooms of the old camp. I even inspected a garret. There were signs that people visit this place everywhere. Newspapers, empty bottles, and other garbage. But there were no signs of Shurik. We returned to the hall where we had started our search. What should we do next? I have no idea. Lena sat on the steps and stared under her feet. I think we should go back. I started carefully. It is late and would just the two of us look for him in the whole forest? You may be right. She looked sad, and her expression let me know that the search is not over yet. Well, I am. I waved my hands doomed and sat next to her. We should think about the worst outcome. Do you want to say, no, but are there any wild animals around? I doubt it. Lena calmed down at once. He may be sleeping somewhere. He'll wake up in the morning and return to the camp. Yes, of course. I jumped on my feet and started to walk in circles around the hall. I really want to leave this place, to get out from the forest, but Lena's behavior as if kept me here. I wanted to go on with persuasion, but then noticed something on the floor. That was a hatch. There were little heaps of garbage and dust around it. It must have been opened recently. Look. Do you think Shurik is in there? Lena squatted and pulled the hatch's handle carefully. It may not be Shurik, but someone surely used it recently. I had already regretted about finding that damn gate to hell. Let's check it out. The hatch door wasn't very heavy, so you could open it without much effort. I directed the flashlight into it and saw a ladder, going down a couple of meters. Looks like a cellar. Let's go down. I looked at Lena for a few moments, trying to understand what was on her mind. Did she get a craving for adventures like Uliana? So where is her youthful spirit then? Or she just went nuts a bit? Lena didn't resemble a crazy person. But anyway, who said she is really a human? And you can evaluate her with a human behavior logic. That thought should have scared me, but somehow I didn't pay it any attention among the other millions of thoughts. Some of them were more important. For example, what could be down there? ... I climbed down and looked around. Everything is okay. After I made sure that there was nothing to be afraid of, I called Lena. We stood in the long corridor, which wasn't a cellar for sure. Its architecture more resembled KGB dungeons or subway maintenance tunnel. I didn't know what would be better. There were countless wires along the walls. They were fastened by metal hooks every half a meter. There were lamps under the ceiling, covered by rusted shades. Concrete crumb cracks cracked under our feet unpleasantly. Shall we go? Lena asked, if without any emotion. Where to? There? Well, yes, what if Shurik is there? What would he be doing there? In any case, I wasn't really able to refuse her today. That's why we forgot about the fear and headed into the darkness. Lena walked next to me, holding my hand. The silence of dungeons was interpreted only by the sound of our steps and dripping water from the ceiling. We moved forward slowly, maybe too slowly. I suddenly got a feel of claustrophobia. I gritted my teeth and squeezed the torchlight, but lightened the grasp at once, fearing to break our only source of light. Lena kept silent, and her silence seemed louder than any words. I started to fear. Say something. Door. What? There is a door. She pointed forward. We really came to a massive metal door with a biohazard sign. Looks like a bomb shelter. Yes, I've heard something about it. Why is it here? I have no idea. Maybe because of Caribbean crisis? Caribbean. I estimated the approximate time of constructing the camp. Makes sense. However, a bomb shelter here was like an airport in a... Whoa, that's a horrible word. Yeah. In Northumberland. We'll just skip that word. Or Lackhawk in Wiltshire in the UK. Not sure what that means in Russian or wherever, but it's a bad word where I'm from. It was not deep enough and too far from civilization. The door wheel muffled creaked. What? Muffledly creaked. Had to push it with all my strength before it turned around a couple of times. I made up my mind and opened the door with difficulty. We entered the room, which seemed to be main living quarters. There were some beds, cases, some scientific equipment. They thoroughly had been preparing for a nuclear apocalypse. We didn't find any signs of Shurik there, though. Look, Lena was holding a flare gun and smiling. Why do I need it? To fight monsters. There are no monsters here. At least I wanted to believe that. If you say so, I guarantee that. I didn't want to upset her, so I tucked a flare gun under my belt. It might come in handy. We thoroughly looked over the room once again. There were 2 exits. The first was the door we had entered, and the other one was exactly the same door in the left wall. For a moment I felt excitement, the urge to reach the end of this labyrinth and learn what prize awaits me there. However, this surely wasn't a computer game, and there was no option to save. Maybe with this. Then it gave me quite a big crowbar. No, I'll give the first try without it. However, the door didn't want to budge, only creaked nastily. The door wheel didn't turn a millimeter. Okay, give it to me. It was too easy with the crowbar. In the end, the obstacle fell down, hitting the floor loudly. The hinges were rusted completely. I pointed the flashlight into the passageway. There was a corridor just like the one we had come here through. Let's go. It was like Lena constantly drove on me. Where are you rushing? Me, I'm not. She got confused and blushed. Again, how should I understand her? First, she doesn't fear a thing, and she gets lost after a word. You look like you don't fear anything. I don't know. What should I fear? You will protect me anyway, she added barely hearably. So Lena relies on me. She believes in me no matter what. It is possible. Stupid, naive, but possible. I knew clearly that I couldn't protect anyone, even myself. Nothing depends on me in this world. The powers that brought me here could do anything. It didn't exactly mean that inevitable death waits me in the end of the tunnel. It could lie in wait anywhere in this camp. Let's go. Dot, dot, dot. I tried to walk faster, but Lena seemed not to be bothered by that. She easily kept pace with me. That corridor was exactly the same as the previous one, to every single little detail. Nothing shocking about it, but at some point I got a feeling that we were walking in circles. The flashlight in my hand started to tremble noticeably. A spot of light jumped all over the walls and the floor, and suddenly it lit up a rather big hole. The hole wasn't too deep, and down there we could see rails. What is it there? Looks like a mine. Shall we have a look? Why not go further into the corridor? I don't know. I think we should go down there. I estimated the height. It would be possible to pull ourselves out. Okay, let's check it out. I jumped down the hole and helped Lena to get down. It was really a mine. I wonder what they could mine here. What minerals are in this area? I don't know. Well, yeah, stupid question. Looks like there are none now. We headed into the darkness. It was hard to walk, because I couldn't choose where to step, wooden planks or ground. I wasn't able to stick to the walls, too. The tunnel was too narrow, and I didn't want to let go of Lena's hand. Finally, we had reached a fork. Just great. Where shall we go? Where? It is not certain that we'll be able to get out of here at all, especially if we are going to play Pac-Man. Play what? Never mind. We'll get lost. What if there is an exit too? It may be there. And what if there isn't? So, should we go back? I bit my lip till bleeding and yelled as loud as I could. Shurik! The loud echo came from every direction at once. Even soil fell from the ceiling in places. See? Then I will go alone. What? I grinned stupidly. Alone? Where to? But we must find Shurik. He may be... Lena blushed at once and stared at the ground. No, no, no. That won't do. If we go together. Okay. Then let's go. She smiled and took my hand. How does she manage that? But the first thing would be... I took quite a big stone from the ground and scratched a cross on one of the beams which supported the walls. Now we will know where we have started. Doesn't matter. We'll go left. It seems that there is another fork in the road. Go left. We came to some kind of miners' camp. Picks and helmets everywhere. Rusty wagons stood in the corner. All items were so old, they dated rather from the beginning of the 20th century than from the middle. So this is really a mine, which means I could be walking here on and on without finding a way out. But I sense that exit was somewhere nearby, and so we went further. Seems that there is another fork in the road. Left. Seems that there is another fork in the road. Left. It seems that there is another fork in the road. Right. Oh my god. Seems there's another fork in the road. Should have kept left. Seems that there's another fork in the road. Seems that there's another fork in the road. Okay, I will go right. There we go. Around the next turn, wooden door appeared in the light. At least something. What? At least it is not another fork. Oh, so like that was just a little joke there, huh? What is there? We don't have any choice but to check it out. I strongly pulled the handle and opened the door. There was a room behind it, which might be one of the maintenance rooms of the bomb shelter. Empty bottles and cigarette butts were scattered everywhere. The walls were all full of scribbles. So that means there's another exit from here. I didn't want to believe that people who left all that came the same way as we did. Sadly, Shurik wasn't here. Oh. I slipped down the floor by the wall. We certainly have been everywhere now. Not everywhere. Lena pointed at the door in the corner. It looks similar to the one leading into the bomb shelter. There probably should be an exit, as you said. Shall we go? Let's rest for a moment. Okay. Lena sat next to me, very close, and took my hand. It's all right. What do you mean? That we haven't found Shurik. We should think about getting ourselves out. We'll get out. Yes, I probably remember the way. Or at least I thought that I remembered it. I am not afraid at all, she suddenly said after a short pause. That's good. It is because I am with you. Suddenly, there came a noise from behind the door to the mine. I jumped at once and started looking for something I could use as a weapon. The noise of heavy steps was getting closer. Shurik! Finally, the door opened and Shurik appeared from behind it. In the silence, I froze, staring at him. There you are. Did you think you could hide from me? What? Did you think I would not find you? But I did. He wasn't sane for sure. The face was distorted with a scared grimace. The eyes gleamed behind the glasses. The lost pioneer held a metal rod in his hand. Are you mad? It's us. Yeah, I can see it's you. He made a couple of steps toward us. I instinctively shielded Lena. Did you think you could make a fool of me, leading me here and there, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right? And I followed. I followed. He raised the metal rod. Everything after that was like in slow motion. Shurik charging at us, me pushing Lena out of the way. The rod slowly coming to my head. My hand with a flashlight going up. Complete darkness following all of that. Rapid breathing, blood hammering in my temples. Silence, dreadful, heavy silence, merging with darkness. I moved my hand trying to find the wall, when I felt someone's touch. Don't be afraid. I heard a familiar voice near me. Where are you, damned lunatic? I shouted. He left. How did he go away? Where to? Lena's voice didn't sound too calm, but certainly it sounded not as it should in such circumstances. calm down. She hugged me tenderly, and I pressed her body against mine. I tried to come to my senses, to restore my breath, to get used to the darkness. What should we do next? You have a gun. Well, who do I shoot? It is loaded with a flare. She might be right. I took the gun from my belt, pointed to the side, and shot. The room became illuminated with a bright red light. The flare lying in the corner looked like a firework or a sparkler. Let's go quickly. It won't burn for too long. Where to? Lena pointed at the second door. It wasn't hard to open it, and we headed into the darkness. ... The flare burned more dimly with every second. I stumbled with every step, even fell down a couple of times, but didn't slow the pace. If it goes out... Finally, we saw a light in front of us and came to the ladder. Going to the grating in the ceiling, the floor hissed and went out. Semyon, thank God. Oh, I didn't mean to say his name. It turned out that we were right under the statue of Genda. The grating was rather sturdy, but we managed to open it after breaking the screws with the flashlight. After getting out to the surface, I fell on the grass, exhausted. That was terrible. Lena sat next to me. Just dreadful. By that time, I didn't give a damn about this world, the camp, the bus number 410, my precious life. The strangest and nastiest thing was that there was nothing supernatural in those events. Shurik just went crazy, insane. Nothing strange about it. I would have in his place too. Lena patted my head tenderly and smiled. It's all over now. I don't know. There's a crazy pioneer in the woods. You can say a maniac killer. I think he's going to be alright. Alright. I'm not sure about that. The most important thing is that we are okay. She still smiled. How can you be so calm? I've told you before that I have nothing to be afraid of when I'm with you. Indeed, I might have saved Lena and myself back there, but it was only by chance, nothing more. If Shurik was more swift, or more crazy. Thanks for the compliment. You are welcome. Though we still should have stayed here in the first place. You're probably right, she said calmly. I got really sleepy, because of stress, of exhaustion, of late night time. We should go to sleep, but I had to stand up and walk to the leader's cabin. I wasn't ready for that. My eyes closed just for a moment. ... Stars looked at me from the sky. Thousands of them, even millions. Now their light didn't seem to be so distant and cold. On the contrary, they twinkled to me, as if whispering among themselves, telling a merry fairy tale in eager rivalry. But a galaxy far, far away, and a violet fluffy piglets. About mysterious asteroid belts where ships have disappeared. About a fearless starship captain and his brave crew. About exceptional treasures and unreachable peaks of the planet on the edge of the universe. I wonder, is that a dream? I lifted myself a little and realized that my head was on Lena's knees. Did I sleep long? I asked in confusion, but didn't rush to get up. I don't know. I don't have a watch. She laughed. Approximately. Well, maybe 20 minutes. Ah, that's okay then. I lied down again, feeling nice and calm like never before. The events of the night became distant, as if I started to forget them. Like the story of the stars were telling me. Shurik has come back. What? I jumped to my feet instantly. There he is, sleeping on the bench. Lena pointed to the benches in surprise. And what are you? You slept so peacefully that I didn't want to wake you up. I felt fear because such behavior was just not strange. It was not inadequate. It scared me more that Shurik's insanity in the dungeon. A lunatic who tried to kill us half an hour ago passes, lies on a bench and falls asleep as she just sits here. Nothing to worry about. It just seemed to be a little off. Lena got confused and blushed. He walked unsteady and didn't look toward us, and if I made a noise, She was about to cry. Okay, don't worry. There was some logic in her words. She probably did the right thing. In any case, we had to interrogate Shurik thoroughly. I jumped up, walked fast to the bench on which he slept, and slapped him. Ouch. He woke up at once. What the hell? What are you doing, bastard? What? Shurik stared at me with a scared and, moreover, sane look. What was that all about down there? What? Where? In the dungeon, in the mine, in the bomb shelter. Did you go completely nuts? I don't understand you. He looked around. Why am I here? And where should you be, in your opinion? Oh, well, I know. You should be in the asylum. I went to the old camp in the morning for the spare parts, and then... Don't you remember anything after that? Lena asked, after walking to us. Yes, and I... Don't pretend, I said calmly and sat next to him. It really looked like he didn't lie, though. I don't understand anything. It is so unscientific. Who cares? Don't think that I trust you. Memory loss can't occur just... Shurik talked to himself, mumbled something, not paying any attention to us. Let's go, Lena said quietly. Shall we just leave him here? He is not in his right mind. He has to sleep. It is dangerous to leave this psycho alone. He may strangle electronic with an induction coil in the night. It's going to be all right, trust me. I had no reason not to trust her. However, I didn't have reasons to trust her either. On the other hand, who cares now? I wanted to fall asleep as quick as possible. Okay. We left Shurik, who still mumbled something to himself. ... We're here. What, where? I have to go further. Lena smiled. I didn't think about anything all the way here. Just followed her and hadn't noticed that we came to Olga's cabin. Yes. Thank you for today. Nothing to thank me for. It was good we came back alive. We'll see what Shurik will say tomorrow. Thanks anyway, she said mysteriously and averted her eyes. You're welcome. Well, it's time for me to go. Lena quickly turned around and walked fast in the direction of her cabin. I suddenly got a thought that all of that was a bit off, not right. After all that happened, it's time for me to go. It usually works differently in such situations, doesn't it? I had no idea what I expected, though. Exhaustion hit me again. I walked with difficulty and entered the cabin. The leader was sitting on my bed, Semyon. She started to talk sadly. Where have you been? Well, I prepared for scolding. I didn't expect that reaction. I went to look for Shurik. Alone? No, with Lena. So, what about Shurik? It looked like Olga was really worried about the fate of the lost pioneer. What is so strange about it? The leader can treat her work lightly, but it doesn't mean that she is a heartless person. He is okay as it could be in a situation. That's good. Go to sleep now. Wait, but... She turned the light quickly, showing that the conversation is over and I couldn't ask anything. Though shouldn't I? Ask why she didn't scold me. ... Still, Lena. What happened today? My thoughts slowed their pace, and before stopping completely. Day 5? Day 5? Day 5! Look at it. It's day 5. It is now... What time is it? It's 11:14. I'm going to bed. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll make another one tomorrow. Bye.